Alright guys, what is up? We are in Stockholm, Sweden. We just arrived to Tensta, one of the most diverse areas littered with doctors and engineers everywhere. And we're with these two patriots.
How's it going, guys? My name's Luke.
Hi, my name is Naomi.
Yes.
We are the two mad explorers. We initially started our travel channel about 4 years ago on YouTube. And then we saw all the madness that's happening in Europe. And we decided to basically flip the script and completely change the narrative because we think people need to, like this gentleman, need to share more about what is happening in this part of the world because it's not really talked about enough. And that's exactly why we make our videos.
Yeah, so guys, check them out. I'll put their channel in the description or in the comments below. But yeah, let's go explore. There's definitely not many Swedish people around here. We just got off of the train station. You can see the way everyone's dressed, the way everyone's looking. So let's go explore. So we're walking over more towards the center, and you can see there's a class here in Sweden near Stockholm. I think I see 2 Swedish people in total out of maybe 15, 20 kids. The rest, I don't know where they're from, but they don't look too Swedish to me. And you were telling me that 85% of people here in these areas are foreign born, right? They're not Swedish.
Yeah, so basically from 2015 onwards, there was a huge influx in all of Europe. And I think about 150, 160,000 came into Sweden just in 2015 alone. And there was they attempted to integrate these people that came in, and for the most part I think it failed because Swedish language is very difficult, and a lot of things about the Swedish society, it's very difficult to get used to, I think, for a lot of people, especially if you're coming from somewhere like Somalia or Africa in general, or maybe Far East, and you're coming from a lot of these areas where the society and the values are so different to what it is in these parts of Europe. They came here, they tried to help them integrate. Most of them, from what I can see, didn't. And because of that, they've basically created these neighborhoods that are on the outside of Stockholm, completely removed from the center. So if you go to the center, you're gonna think everything is peachy in Stockholm. But then as soon as you take a train and you come slightly outside, literally 10 minutes outside, you'll see it's literally 85% upwards non-Swedes. And you won't even hear Swedish being spoken. Signs in the restaurants are Arabic majority, or you'll see a lot of Eritrean. Different African nations will have their own basically restaurants, halal butchers.
Lots of halal butchers.
Lots of halal stuff everywhere.
Very Swedish.
So yeah, typically Swedish stuff, you know.
So what do you think should happen to these migrants? Should they somehow be forced to integrate into society, or do you think some of them just can't do it?
If in our opinion, if you can't integrate into the country that you go to, you really shouldn't be there. So that's just my honest opinion. If we are gonna move, me and Naomi, our goal is to hopefully at some point move to Greece. When we move to Greece, we want to learn Greek. We want to learn everything about Greek culture. We're both born Catholics. We want to even go towards Orthodoxy, which is the majority of what Greek is.
Yeah.
Greek people are majoritively Orthodox. So we want to embrace the country that we move to. We're not going to bring our values, our systems, and our way of thinking into a country and then be we're better than you. And that's what's happening in a lot of Europe at the moment, is you've hundreds of thousands of these people, doctors and engineers, that are coming, and they're our culture in Somalia, for example, is somehow superior to what it is in Sweden. And if that's the case, what are you doing in Sweden? So yeah, I think if you can't integrate, what's the point? You're only gonna be, especially if you're in areas like this, you're completely removed from society. You have your own little pocket. You're never gonna learn the language. You're never gonna learn the culture. These people are not mixing with Swedes. And a lot of times when they do, it's out of desperation, and it ends up in things like rape, ends up in a lot of nasty things, nasty situations, because again, a lot of the cultural norms and situations, like, they're very restricted in a lot of areas in terms of like being open about sexuality. That's not the case in a lot of Europe. It's very openly accepted to be like a sexual person, whereas that's not the case if you go to really restrictive Islam majority countries in Africa, for example. So if you bring in a lot of that culture here, it completely flips the script and it ends up in a bad way.
But yeah, guys, I mean, this neighborhood seems like kind of a normal suburb just outside, but there's literally just not many Swedish people around here at all. We're walking towards the center, but it is pretty calm right now, to be honest, but it definitely does not seem like Sweden.
Are of the utmost importance and significance for our time. So it's pro-Islamic.
Anti-Semitism, Sharia, integration. Interesting. I don't know what's going on here, but
we literally just translated what it said on the thing there, and it's basically like a pro-Sharia law campaign, or like political campaign. It's supposed to be, I can actually read it for you. So it's the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and they're launching a Messiah Has Come campaign. The aim of the campaign is to address the issues that we believe are the utmost importance and significance of our time. Why is religion needed? So it's basically like converting people to Islam in Sweden.
So
Campaign.
if they have anti-Semitism and terrorism out on the board, does that mean they're pro-anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism?
I don't
Because
know.
obviously Sharia is something, and democracy apparently is something that they are in favor, but anti-Semitism and terrorism is on the same board. So
Make it make
Interesting.
sense.
Interesting billboard right there. And they're not pro-religion, they're just pro-Islam. Some broken window, some spray paint. I mean, again, this place seems pretty calm for now. I don't know. Apparently, if you go after sunset, it gets a lot more dangerous, and apparently you're not supposed to really be around these areas. But again, not too many Swedish people, but there's not really groups of people. Like, they're kind of just isolated, living their lives. But in my experience, I've seen a lot of them just like sleep during the day. They come out after sunset, then they kind of hang out, drink, whatever, do drugs later in the day. So we're pushing more of the center. So there's a Somalian bench. I'm sure the Muslims really appreciate those colors and those benches right there. But to be honest, this place is just not that bad at all. Came more towards the center.
I got a joke for
It's
you.
pretty cool. Let's
What
hear
do you
it.
call a lesbian on fire?
What?
LGBTQ.
Yeah. How do you think the Somalis like those benches, like the Muslims here?
Oh yeah.
They love them,
They
man.
love a bit of inclusivity. The same as the Free Palestine, like the Queers for Palestine. It's the same type of inclusivity right there. I don't know why, but I have a very strong feeling that the people that are for that particular cause, they wouldn't ever actually go over there. I don't know, I just have a feeling about that. If you went over there and you're like, Queers for Palestine, I'm pretty sure you're going off a building pretty quickly.
What the hell is this? I don't know what this says, but I don't know
It
what's
looks
going on
exactly like what I was just talking about.
it's
here. Looks like a cancer patient.
I think it's a personal trainer.
Oh.
I would trust him.
He's talking about having more energy and being stronger, and then it talks about training.
Nice.
Try and translate it. Training has given me a stronger body, new energy, and joy for life. Stronger, smoother, and more energy. It looks very strong.
Would you let him train you?
Oh, definitely, for sure.
Yeah. Some sort of statue here. Not sure what it is. She does look like a Swedish kid or something. A little odd. But yeah, the sunset's gonna happen in about an hour. We're gonna go to the Rinkeby train station. Apparently it's not the best area there. And then grab something to eat. Then we'll stay until sunset. But apparently even the AI, like ChatGPT, models say to not stay here after dark. So we're approaching Rinkeby station here. You see the people who just got off the bus. Very diverse group. We're going to some, okay. Just walking the streets, we're going to see kind of the train station. So you can see right there. You can see the type of people that are hanging out around this area. So as you can see, even the signs here are in Eritrean, apparently. There's some nice wigs. I don't even know why there's wigs here, since they're completely covered up. I don't know who buys them. I guess apparently there's a market. Yeah, I think it's probably 1% Swedish here. In the barber shop, not one Swedish person.
There you can see stores. These stores here are selling burqas and hijabs.
Yeah, it's a common Swedish outfit right here. You're fully covered up like that. So a little girl walked by and oh, look at that sign.
Yeah.
And she said kafir, and that means infidel?
Kufar, yeah.
Kufar.
So basically in the Quran there's a lot of scripture, and what they call Christians, or what they call basically non-believers, is kufar, and that basically means infidel. So someone who is not on the same level, I guess you could say. So someone who's lesser than, or lesser than human.
And that was a little girl who was like 5 years old, said that, right?
5-6 years old, yeah.
But wearing a hijab.
Wearing a hijab. But you could literally look into any of these stores. You could look in there. Everyone's wearing a hijab. Everyone's very dark. I'm sure they probably don't even speak Swedish in there. Every store. I don't think I've seen one Swedish person in the store yet. I think I saw one on there. There's one in the bus. In the bus right there. The rest, they don't look too Swedish to me, to be honest. Here's some signs in Arabic. Familia Bosta there. Do you know what this is?
This is like basically a place where they help families. So they help families do laundry, family house basically. So anything that they need, that's a place where they'll help them. But every sign is non-Swedish. So if you're a Swedish family and you might need the same help, what happens? Although the Swedish people are the ones paying the taxes. So
yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely tax funded by the Swedish people.
Swedish people are literally working, full-time jobs to fund that, and all it is basically in an area that's completely removed from where they live. So it's crazy.
Look at the bus again. Oh, this place is pretty crazy. Like, it's definitely not as condensed as like some places in London, like Whitechapel, where the streets are just flooded, nobody speaking English. Markets are absolutely everywhere. But it's wild to see. Like, Sweden was not like this even 10 years ago, and it's a very recent problem. And they're only here because of the Swedish tax money, because the Swedish people are working and paying for them to be here. And some of them aren't even paying voluntarily. You know, they have to pay taxes, and this is where it's going to. For these people to come into the countries, to not work, to get, free housing, free healthcare, whatever else. I mean, this place does not look like Sweden. It's like when you think of Sweden, you don't think of a place like this. And it is extremely eye-opening to just see. And you could look around us everywhere. There's literally no Swedish people here. Look at that, the barber shop. Again, no Swedish people in there. We're getting looks. I don't think they really like the cameras here. You see the bus stop, the people get out of there. I see one Swedish person, but that's about it. So, we're nearing the station here. As you can see, not many Swedish people at all. Just because the outfits these people are wearing, and it's like they're so isolated in their own communities. They don't have to learn Swedish. They don't have to learn anything. They don't have to communicate with them. They don't have to work, cook at the markets here. It's a crazy place. And I'm getting a lot of looks just for carrying a camera. I don't know why all these people in these places feel so uncomfortable when they're being recorded if they're not doing anything wrong. But that's a crazy place. I mean, it's making me feel very uneasy. Apparently, we walked in here and some guys screamed,
Honestly, yeah.
YouTuber?
I literally switched my camera off because the guy like started dog whistling, and he was like, camera, YouTuber. You, as you were walking through here, but like literally through the center, you might be able to see it on your clip. But people like started disappearing into the background, so I don't know why that is. I don't know if there's definitely some sketchy stuff happening here, and maybe they don't want to be on camera. That's what we found when we went to Paris and London and a couple of the other cities. People do not want to be on camera, and if you don't ask them, they get like pretty antsy.
Why? I thought they're not doing anything illegal here. I thought they're just hardworking individuals. I don't know what they're so scared of.
Yep.
Where'd you want? So we met some Somalian guy who's clearly on drugs.
He's literally kidnapped my wife.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys are so calm around these people. I feel on edge. He was like clearly on something.
It's fine.
Painting nails, all this. I mean, it's fine until it's not.
Make it out alive though.
Yeah, we'll see. So we're leaving Rinkeby just before it's getting dark. People were, I don't know, giving us unfriendly stares, I would say. So
it's not the most welcoming environment, especially when like 5-year-olds call you an infidel.
Yeah, so maybe it's true. Maybe after dark, it's not the safest place. Yeah, we're gonna leave before it gets a little too dark. But yeah, I think that was enough diversity for the day. All right, guys, we're back here in the old town. Very stark contrast. Not too much diversity. Obviously, some tourists around here. Going inside and try some Swedish meatballs, maybe some other Swedish food. But yeah, that was the end of this video. Clearly, you guys saw the very bad part of Stockholm. Thank you for them for joining us.
Mad respect.
Both of them. Their channel will be in the description below or in the comments. And we're gonna meet up with the Nordic resistance guy here in Sweden pretty soon. We'll get a perspective from someone who's been an activist for a while. Maybe ask them from a Swedish perspective how much this country has changed and what some of the biggest problems are and what we can do to fix them. Thank you guys for watching and see you guys next time.